All right, I'm Jason Whitlock. That's Marcellus Wiley, that dude.
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome to Speak for Yourself, the most fearless show in sports. Coming up, it appears we just got more proof that LeBron James is quite toxic wherever he goes. And 1 hour from now, I'll tell you how we've turned the modern American athlete into royalty, and that's not healthy. But we start today in the NFL. All right, you know, Marcellus, with Ric Bucher coming down from the Bay to join us the past 2 days, I wanted to do something special to make him feel comfortable.
What's that?
Blow the whistle. I go on and on. I can't understand how it lasts so long.
Yeah.
Blow the whistle. Two shorts in the house.
All right, what up?
TMZ cameras caught up with Short Dog last night and asked him about Ezekiel Elliott's Cowboys holdout. Blow the whistle.
The truth is that basketball everybody up in the head. Everybody was like, you get 100 million, you get 100 million, you get 150, you get 180, you get 220. It's up now. Athletes are like, it's up, man. You gotta give us some money, man.
All right, I think there's some truth here. The money showered on relatively mediocre NBA players is playing a role in NFL players taking a hardline approach in contract negotiations. You're Ezekiel Elliott, and you see Danny Green signed for $15 million a year in a league that produces half the revenue and less than half of the TV ratings as your league. Yeah, you get a bit more emboldened. If you're mild-mannered Russell Wilson and you see NBA stars jumping city to city for contracts worth $150 million, yeah, you tell the Seahawks, have my $140 million on tax day and don't make me come looking for you. Blow the whistle.
Seattle, we got a deal.
Go Hawks.
All right, do I think the NBA contracts are the main driving force in Zeke's holdout or Melvin Gordon's? No. Zeke and Gordon play a position with declining value, and they're trying to score before their market dips further. They're guys trying to sell a house in early 2008. Also, the money the NFL is handing to its quarterbacks is a major motivator for Elliott and Gordon. QB envy is driving running backs crazy. The biggest stars in football used to be running backs. From Bronco Nagurski to Jim Brown to O.J. Simpson to Walter Payton, the NFL was built on the backs of its most prolific runners. They were superstars. Jim Brown left football to become a movie star and activist. O.J. joined the Monday Night Football booth. Payton, through the NFL Man of the Year award, is basically the NFL's logo, the Jerry West of football. Running backs are justifiably irate. Their place of prominence in football is being diminished. Wide receivers are higher on the pecking order now. But there's no question the leverage and power that NBA players have in where they play and the seemingly ridiculous contracts they command have influenced the behavior of their NFL counterparts. They can't fight the feeling. Everybody wants to blow the whistle. All right, joining the desk now are Fox Sports NFL analyst Greg Jennings and Bleacher Report's Ric Bucher. Marcellus, big dog.
Yeah.
Start us off. Have NBA players been influenced? Have NBA players influenced the behavior of NFL players?
Only if you answer this. What's my favorite word? Rich. Rich. Hell yeah, we influenced by what's going on the other side. The NFL at the top level always takes a peek at the NBA and what are they doing in terms of initiatives and growing their game and what's working for them, what's not. Let's talk about globalization, the NBA, China, India, Africa, NFL, London, Mexico. Oh, we're going to keep pace with you guys. It could go all the way down to salaries. And I think on the player level, there's always been an envy for the basketball player. I'm just going to go back to my initial upbringing as an athlete. I tried my first year track, football, basketball. Quickly realized I would never be LeBron. I mean, I quit basketball so fast, I was like, I can't go up. I can go forward. I can go fast forward. I can't go up. And I think a lot of times, let's just be real about this, we are failed basketball players. I get it. And if you don't believe me, ask, some Hall of Famers like Tony Gonzalez. Let's go and ask
Greg Jennings. He had a basketball scholarship.
Let's go ask Antonio Gates, my teammate, future Hall of Famer, Terrell Owens, etc. So Julius Peppers. Hello. So many guys be like, damn it, I can't make the NBA, but I could be the man, one of the greatest in football. That comes at a price. That comes with A rung down the ladder comes at a price, whereas we have, 21 players in the NFL who make over 20 million? They have 51. Their game is half as big as ours, but there are fewer of them. And it's, I think, a more specialized craft in terms of athleticism, and it's being demonstrated. I think the numbers reflect that.
Yeah. Look, I believe that they're taking a cue from NBA players, but I would say in the nuts and bolts, it has more to do with being more conscious of what their value is and how that's determined in negotiations and being directly involved in that. We see Richard Sherman essentially representing himself, applauding Bobby Wagner for doing the same thing. Ray Allen was the one who first started that. And understanding how analytics and the metrics are going to affect the numbers, I think that's where you're seeing guys being more involved. And as a result, they're taking their competitive nature to the negotiating table and the boardroom. They're not sitting back and saying, I just want my agent, look, my agent's going to tell me what we can get and how we can get it.
Right.
Guys are betting on themselves and saying, you know what, I want to be at the table, and if you're not giving me what I want, then I'm going to go to the wall and try to get it. So I think there's a realization they're not going to get paid on the level that NBA players are because the dynamics are just different.
Yeah.
But in terms of being aware of getting the most that they can get, I would say that they've definitely taken a cue from NBA players.
I agree with both of you, and I thought this article was very well written.
Thank you.
Blow the whistle. No, but there we go. Yeah. No, but I think we definitely look across leagues to see what others are doing, especially the guys at the top that set the tone. And with social media and with all of this, what other guys are doing, not only with their contracts but with their platforms and their brands. Yes, it's a huge influence. I mean, in corporate, as you mentioned, across the board, everyone's always peeking to see what their competitor or what their counterparts are doing to see how can I match up, how can I compare, where can I fit in and get mine at? And it's no different when it comes to athletes.
For a moment this morning when I was thinking about this issue, I kept thinking, you know what? I think it's really unfair for athletes to have their salaries publicized the way that they are. Yeah, I think
I always loved that.
No, I hated it.
Why? Okay, I'm listening to the other side. I always loved it. I don't give a damn how much I make. You ain't getting none of it. Who cares what you know? Like, what does that mean? How does it affect me? Like, I loved it because it just eliminated a false conversation. I hate in the media, hey, man, how much is Whitlock making? I don't know. I should know, because you know what? I work with Whitlock. It's just that simple. I don't care. I actually do know, but you know, I'm just saying.
The flip side of that is, though, that now you're being measured based on what you're making compared to everybody else, and that's not necessarily a fair measurement. We talked about this yesterday in terms of timing has a lot to do with how you're going to get paid. To that end, I believe that what we're seeing right now has a lot more to do with DeMarco Murray than it has to do with any NBA player. You look at his, I mean, by and large, we're looking at running backs are the ones that are holding out. Melvin Gordon, Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell. DeMarco Murray, during his time with the Dallas Cowboys, made $3.65 million in 4 seasons. He gave them 29 TDs. He averaged almost 5 yards a carry. If I'm a running back and I'm looking at that, he then went to Philadelphia and fell off. He's out of the league right now. He had what the numbers that he put up as a running back says he should have made a hell of a lot more than he ultimately made. And I believe that's what's driving this right now, is they're saying, I got to get mine as soon as I show that I can cut it, because they're not going to pay me for what I did. It's what I'm going to do.
This leads to my point, because again, this morning I was like, man, I think it's just unfair that all the business is out there. But having all that business out there makes you make a more informed, better decision. And you can look across, and again, I think NFL players, if they really, and again, you can credit NBA players, but what they're really looking at is like, man, this CBA we signed with these rookie deals for 5 years and 4 years.
Ridiculous.
This is costing us all kinds of money. And for running backs, it's killing them. Because we get you for 4 or 5 years, and then we run you out of here. In your golden years, when you're supposed to make the most money for a running back, is early on.
Yes, I remember Troy Vincent, who at the time was with on the NFLPA side, coming into our meeting room and talking to our team saying, guys, look, listen, let these young guys set the bar. Let these young guys set the
And
table.
go jump over it.
And when you're up, you will jump over. But guys, at that point in time,
Jealous.
yes, it's envy, it's jealous, it's pride. It's like, no, I don't want this young guy making more than me, and he hasn't proven anything. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, even in the NBA, their system is set up one way, but when those guys are ready to get paid, they get paid, and it's everybody getting paid.
Well, the great NBA players have longer careers, and it's like a quarterback. Quarterbacks aren't getting killed by this because now they can play 20 years damn near.
Right.
And so you're going to eventually get your money. But the average running back, a great one has 8 years, probably.
And they're devalued coming into the draft.
Yes. And so these 4- and 5-year deals that they're forced to enter into as a rookie is killing them. Again, that's another thing that's influencing them. The information is actually a good thing.
Yes.
And even the information about NBAs, because I do think it gives these athletes a confidence. Like, you know what, this is our time. We can stand up to these guys. And it's like Melvin Gordon is right now talking about demanding a trade. He's trying to go the Kevin Durant, or I mean the Anthony Davis route.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I think the real layer is ego-driven. Even though that has a negative connotation, I think it's a positive. You said the information. You look across leagues, and you look at a Jamal Murray, who was a baller, but is not an all-star, and he just got $170 million non-all-star in that league. That's half of ours. Meanwhile, I could be Aaron Donald, the best player in our game, or I could be Melvin Gordon, one of the top 10 running backs, top 5 running backs. I could be Aaron Rodgers, whoever it is. You know how great I have to be just to be a non-all-star in the other league that's half of ours? That math doesn't add up. We know the penalties don't add up. In NFL, it's non-guaranteed. Tomorrow, you don't play well, get out of here. And the rewards don't add up. And then you see guys like this who benefit from their system, and you look at our ecosystem financially and say, what the hell happened?
All right, coming up, the Cowboys still haven't paid any of their big stars. We'll tell you if they just revealed that they have the wrong mindset about this situation. Next! And don't forget to check us out on the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
You gonna clear that sample now?